welcome to week 4 of Christmas Shorts. And if you can't tell from my candy cane staff here, tonight we are going to be talking about the shepherds. Now, the shepherds carried a crook kind of like this for corralling their sheep and getting rid of those wolves and those lions and those bears and all the other things. And we're going to be talking about the shepherds in particular outside of Bethlehem that the angels come to and they say, hey, you shepherds, guess what? Jesus is born. And the shepherds get to visit Jesus. And we're going to visit first century Bethlehem tonight to seek what does the shepherds have to tell us? What kinds of things would they want us to know? We're going to check them out. So if you're ready, first century Bethlehem, here we go. Wow. Well, this must be a field outside of Bethlehem. And why am I? Oh, man. Oh. What is that smell? That's you guys? Man, y'all stink. Y'all need to take a shower. Good gracious. Well, we are out here with the sheep and with the goats, and we have my shepherd's crook here, though my shepherd friends are telling me that it may not be helpful. But as you can hear, the sheep are out there. They're pretty annoying. And could you imagine being in a field all day and all night having to listen to this noise? Listen just for a second. It's pretty annoying, isn't it? Sheep are kind of annoying creatures, but they serve a purpose. And in the first century, they served a great purpose, especially for making clothes like what I'm wearing, or even this bandana I've got over my face here in first century. If it's in the first and the 21st century, it's top of the line bandana here. But anyway, the shepherds, though, were not the highest of society. They lived out in the fields for the most part, where they took care of those annoying sheep that you hear. They kept them safe from wolves and lions and bears and tigers, oh my, and all of the things, probably not tigers in first century Bethlehem, but they were keeping them safe. And one night, the shepherds were out in the fields, and all of a sudden the heavens explode, and they're like, what is going on? And they cover their eyes, and the angels say, tonight, this day in Bethlehem is born the Messiah, the King. And the shepherds are like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Don't you know who we are? We are the shepherds. You don't come tell us about the king. We find out from the newspaper 20 years from now, whatever it finally gets to us. We are the least important people in Bethlehem. But the angel says no. Tonight, this day is born in Bethlehem the Savior, the Messiah, Jesus, and you, shepherds, go visit. And so that night, they go to visit Jesus there in the barn surrounded by animals where they didn't smell funny because everything smelled funny. And these people, these shepherds, the least likely to ever be invited to the birth of a king, are there at Jesus' birth. And so today, all the way from first century Bethlehem, the challenge for this week's Christmas short, as we hear the annoying baying of those sheep in the background, is to ask the question, who in our lives is God showing us the message of Christ through? Who have we pushed to the side to say, they don't know Jesus? They can't know Jesus. Because the story of Jesus is when a king comes, you expect that you're going to go to a palace. There are going to be armed guards. Jesus is going to be there. And if you are a nasty smelling shepherd, you are not going to get to visit that king. Matter of fact, you'll never see that king in your entire life. But the king of the world is born. The most important king that's ever lived. You know who's invited to go visit him first? The smelly, unimportant shepherds. And so if you feel unimportant this Christmas, like God can't use me, well, know this. God invited shepherds to his birth. And they were pretty low on the totem pole. And so God sees value even in the people that we make the lowest in our society. God sees value even in us when we feel like we have none. And there are people all around you who maybe you have discredited. Stop discrediting them. Because God is working through them, just like God works through these shepherds. And like the song says, the little shepherd boy, well, he tells everybody about Jesus. And so on this day, if you don't feel like you have anything left to share, like God can use you, know that God can, because God used these shepherds. Take a bath before you tell people about Jesus, though. Just a tip there, but know that you can be used. But then also, the challenge for this week's Christmas short is to ask the question, who might we need to be looking closer at for the message of Jesus? Who might Jesus be showing us his presence through? Do you hear what I hear? Well, I hear some really annoying goats and sheep, but that's just a reminder that God can use even the lowest of the low, and that at the king's birth, the king of the world, well, the ones who were there didn't deserve to be there, but God saw value and purpose in them, just like God sees value and purpose in you too. So, smelly shepherds, y'all go take a shower. Y'all stink. And the rest of you, take a shower too. I mean, do that. And then go tell people about Jesus, because Jesus sees value and purpose and love for you. And this Christmas season, you are valued. So know that. That's it for this week's Christmas short. Join us next week as we wrap up our series by visiting the Magi, wandering in the desert. See y'all next week. Have a good week. You sheep, hush! I can't hear myself think!